Welcome. Tonight, we unravel a love story bound not by promises, but by the relentless, chaotic current of time itself. Our journey begins with a moment of shattering loss for a young boy named Henry detamble. It is 1970, and a 6-year-old Henry is sitting with his mother, a talented opera singer, in their car. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light, the screech of tires, and the terrifying, grinding sound of metal. In a blink, the world stops. His mother is gone, but Henry is not. He awakens, unharmed, standing miles away on a highway's shoulder. He is utterly alone. This escape was no miracle. It was the terrifying debut of a genetic curse, chrono impairment. The power to time travel. A power he cannot control. Decades later, we find the adult Henry, a respectable librarian, still haunted, still jumping. He is constantly preparing for his own vanishing act, leaving clothes and identification with friends, knowing he could be ripped from his present at any second. One ordinary day at the Newberry Library in Chicago, a beautiful young woman approaches his desk. Her name is Clare Abshire. She looks at him with intense familiarity, a depth of emotion that frightens him. She greets him like a long-lost love, but for Henry, this is the very first time he has seen her. "Claire, I've known you my whole life." Henry is confused, even dismissive, but Claire is persistent. She knows things about him. His childhood scars, the specific time he prefers coffee, secrets only a lifelong partner could possess. Claire takes him back to her apartment. She opens a box, revealing dozens of drawings, charcoal sketches of a single, consistent figure. Henry, naked, often injured, always standing in a snowy meadow. This is the truth. Claire's timeline started when she was 6 years old, in the meadow behind her parents' house in Michigan. An adult Henry, future Henry, materialized before her. He was lost, vulnerable, and needed help. Over the next 20 years, Henry would visit her, disappear, and return hundreds of times. He was her guardian, her best friend, her mentor, and eventually, the love of her life. He taught her about his condition, about loss, and about living with constant uncertainty. He had literally raised her to be his wife. For Claire, their story had a beginning, middle, and future. For Henry, it was only just beginning. The paradox is now their reality. They begin dating. For Henry, it's a normal courtship. For Claire, it's a terrifying shift from the safe visits of future Henry to the vulnerable, present version. As they share their first kiss, the terrifying power of time asserts itself. Mid-embrace, Henry feels the familiar, sickening pull. With a sudden, violent flicker, he is gone. Claire is left alone, staring at the empty space where her fiancé stood, his clothes collapsing onto the floor. This is the new normal. For them, every moment of intimacy, every shared dinner, every quiet night is an invitation for time to rip them apart. Despite the unpredictable, chaotic nature of their life, Henry and Claire decide to marry. They want normalcy, stability, even if it's an illusion. But on the day of the wedding, as Henry is changing into his tuxedo, the cruel gene strikes again. Henry is pulled away, vanishing moments before he is due at the altar. Claire is devastated, but she knows what must be done. She calmly looks towards the door, waiting. And then he arrives, a future version of Henry, older, more tired, but dressed in a tuxedo he borrowed from a stranger. This future Henry stands in for his absent, younger self. He marries Claire, knowing that this is not his first wedding, but his second. Claire accepts this temporal exchange with grace and a heartbreaking familiarity. Their marriage is cemented not just by vows, but by their shared, impossible understanding of time. Henry, determined to give Claire a normal life, seeks professional help. He consults Dr. Kendrick, a geneticist studying rare temporal disorders. Kendrick confirms the diagnosis. Henry's genes are simply unstable. The time jumps are spontaneous and cannot be permanently controlled by human means. Yet, desperate, Henry takes a risk. He jumps far into the future, landing in a sterile, futuristic lab. He steals a vial of an uninvented antipsychotic drug that he believes can temporarily anchor him to the present. The drug works, offering them a brief, precious period of stability. They can enjoy quiet dinners, long weekends, and undisturbed sleep. They believe for a moment they have cheated fate. With stability, their thoughts turn to a family. Claire becomes pregnant and the couple is overjoyed, but joy quickly turns to terror. Claire experiences a dizzying sensation, followed by a shocking, empty moment. Henry explains the awful truth. The time-traveling gene, inherited by the fetus, causes it to disappear from the womb during a time jump. It's an involuntary miscarriage, not of life, but of time. This happens repeatedly. Each miscarriage is a devastating blow, turning Claire's hope into agonizing fear. The time-traveling curse is not just on Henry. It threatens to destroy every piece of their shared future against all odds. Claire becomes pregnant one last time. This time, Henry is terrified, knowing the pain she will face if they lose the baby again. He takes extreme measures. He shaves his head, hoping that the lack of hair might anchor him to the present, a superstitious belief born of desperation. In a moment of quiet fear, he cuts Claire's beautiful long hair, a sacrifice, a desperate bid to keep them both safe. And then the miracle arrives, a daughter, Alba. Alba inherits the gene, but unlike Henry, she has a degree of control over her jumps. As a child, she instinctively knows when Henry is about to disappear, sensing the shift in time. She is their anchor, their proof that a life defined by time travel can still be a life filled with love. As Alba grows, Henry's jumps become more erratic and more dangerous. During one jump, he materializes near Claire's family home in the woods. He is alone, naked, and seeking cover. In a terrifying moment, a rifle shot rings out. Henry collapses, gravely wounded. The shooter, we soon realize, is Claire's brother, Gomez, who mistook the moving figure for a deer. Henry jumps away, wounded but alive, returning to his own time to be treated. This scene is crucial. Claire's family witnessed the time traveler who was shot. Henry knows who shot him, and Claire realizes that even their deepest family connections are intertwined with the chaotic fate of her husband. His life is defined by a future he cannot outrun. Henry knows his jumps have a purpose, often leading him to a desperate future. One day, he jumps to a desolate, frozen version of Chicago, years in the future. He is freezing, alone, and trapped. Unable to return quickly, Henry suffers catastrophic frostbite on his feet. When he finally jumps back to his present, the injuries are too severe, and his feet must be amputated. This loss of mobility is the final, deadly piece of the puzzle. An adult Henry, old, frail, and now without the ability to run or escape a dangerous materialization, visits Claire. He tells her the terrible truth. His timeline is almost complete. He has seen the end. The day arrives. Henry experiences the final, irresistible pull of time. He knows where he is going, back to the woods, back to the gunshot that he can no longer survive. He embraces Claire and Alba one last time. Henry time travels to the same location where he was previously wounded, and this time, the shot is fatal. The scene cuts to the quiet aftermath. Years pass. Claire and Alba live on, defined by their immense love for the man who is always coming and going. Claire becomes a portrait of quiet strength, grounded by the unique life she chose. Then, one day, as a mature Alba and Claire are sitting by the fireplace, the lights flicker. The air shifts. A much younger version of Henry materializes in their home, wearing the innocent, surprised expression of a man who hasn't yet met Claire in the library. He looks at his grown daughter and his enduring wife. Claire smiles, her eyes shining with tears of joy and eternal pain. She greets him, not with sorrow, but with the simple, profound statement that sums up their entire existence. "Hello, Henry." Henry detamble is gone, but the nature of time means he is never entirely absent. For Claire, their relationship is a promise that, no matter the distance or the years, love in its purest form will always find its way home.